How's it going, everyone? DFS Phenom here. If you like my content, go ahead, give this video a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel. I have a lineup here that I want to show you that I played yesterday in the Million Maker. A lot of people ask me how I set up my lineups. I set them up just the way that I put them in this video. I have a lot of faith in these lineups that I do, but I want to show you that I do play these. I do a little bit of tweaks all the way up till kickoff just due to injuries and some other things, but for the most part, 90% of the time, I play what I pick. So do a little bit of research. Let's get into this Monday night slate. How's it going, everyone? Let's take a look at this Monday night slate. The Saints between the Redskins, the Captain Showdown mode. First person I want to look at is Kamara. I want to put him in my captain spot. If you look at what he's done the last 3 weeks, he's been a DraftKings go-to. Against the Giants, he scored 44 DraftKings points. Atlanta, he scored 37. He had a bad game against Cleveland, 17 points, and Tampa Bay jumped back up to 46. He's averaging 36 DraftKings points on the year. That's getting you roughly 3 times his value. At home, he's scoring 32 points, and away, he's scoring 40 points. So he's done a little bit better in away games, but I really like him in the spot against the Redskins. I'm going to go ahead and put him in my captain spot. Next person I want to look at is Drew Brees. You know, he had a bad game against the Giants last week, only scored 8 DraftKings points, threw for 217 yards, didn't have a touchdown or an interception, but he rushed the ball for -1 yard. So that's definitely a lot different from the previous 3 weeks. I look for him to get back on track. They're playing at home in the Dome. I look for him to start slinging the ball around again. I want to go ahead and draft him, put him in my lineup. Next one I want to look at is Michael Thomas. Just like Drew Brees, he had a bad week last week against the Giants. He scored 8 points as well. He was only targeted 4 times last week. 4. That was cut in half from what he's done the previous 3 weeks. I look for him to get back on track with Drew Brees and get back up to those 9, 10, 11 targets per game, and then get back into that 25 points per game. He's averaging 27 points this season, so that's a great fantasy pick for me, I believe. If you look at what he's done at home games, they are back in the Dome tonight. He's averaging 37 DraftKings points at home. So that right there is just going to make me put him in my lineup just by that stat. I look for him to connect with Drew Brees a lot. I look for Kamara, even though Mark Ingram's coming back from his 4-game suspension for PEDs. I really look for Kamara to keep that workload. They're going to work Mark Ingram in a little bit, but I think these last 4 games, Kamara has really, showed that he's above Mark Ingram, and I think that he's still going to keep that workload. You may be able to sneak one in with Mark Ingram at 7,000. If they get down to the goal line a couple times, they may put Mark Ingram in just to punch the ball in, so he could get you, 1 or 2 touchdowns going that way. So I don't mind Mark Ingram, but if I had to pick between the two, I'm going to pick Kamara. Next one I want to look at is Ted Ginn is out. So you have a couple of options. You can go with his supposed sub, which is Tre'Quan Smith. Some of the reports I've been reading, Saints have high praise on this guy. You know, it's kind of like the next man up. They're ready for this guy to shine. They need someone to step up and take those receptions that Ted Ginn has been getting. I look for Tre'Quan Smith to get a couple targets this week. He's only 1,400, so you know he scores 10 points. You know that's 10 times his value. So I like him as a value pick. But what I want to look at here is I want to look at the kicker. If you've watched my previous lineups, I don't go for defenses. I think defenses are a bad play in these games just because they actually decrease in points. You have a few, you know, might get pick six, or you might get a couple sacks, you know, a couple of interceptions, but overall, it's actually a decrease in points because how many teams have been shut out this year? Not very many. So I want to go with kickers at this point. I like their upside. Lutz, if you look what he's done at home, he's scoring you 7 points at home, and he's scoring you 15 points away. The last 2 games against New York and Atlanta, he scored you 16 points and 15 points. So for $3,600, he's getting 3 times your salary. I'm going to go ahead and put him in my lineup for some relief. So just with those 4 picks, that'll leave you with $2,600 to play around with. Again, if you want to get those 3 studs from the Saints in this lineup, that's probably what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to pull a lot of value to get those. But with those 3 in the lineup, I feel like you have a very, very solid lineup. Even going with that value, those small, you know, 3,600 players to 1,400 players, stuff like that. So my first one, I'm going to go Saints heavy. I really do think the Saints are going to take this from the Redskins. But I want to do one more lineup, just kind of show you another way you could look at this. So I've already talked about Alvin Kamara. I think any lineup that I play, I'm going to have him in it, obviously. But I'm going to go with Adrian Peterson as my captain. He's getting an average of 23 points away. He's also going up against the Saints last year that he played 4 games for, and then they traded him. So look kind of at the revenge factor as well. But if you look at what he did against Green Bay last week, he had 27 DraftKings points, and then against Arizona he had 23 DraftKings points. So I like him. If you want to do a Redskins stack or a mixture of both, again, like I said, talked about Kamara already. I'm going to go ahead and put him in this lineup. Breeze, I'm going to put him in this lineup. That leaves you with $5,200 to fill 3 spots. You could go Alex Smith. He's having an average season after being traded away from Kansas City. In away games, he's averaging almost 20 DraftKings points. So I wouldn't mind drafting him. in this spot. Leaves you at 2,900. Go with Traquan Smith. Like I said, I've already talked about him a little bit. Supposedly going to be starting for Ted Ginn. That's out with a knee injury. Now leaves you with 4,400 left to fill in one spot. So you could even go Lutz, that leaves you, 800 left on the table. So kind of gets it from a contrarian lineup. Maybe you hit. Like I said, I like all these picks. I may even like that better than my first one overall that I did. So again, just look at them, play around with it. This is what picks I have. I like Kamara. I like Peterson, Breeze, Alex Smith, Michael Thomas. But personally, I'd stay away from defense. I don't think they are a very good pick in this type of slate/game. So I would stay away from defenses altogether. Like I said, the only way that they're remotely good is if they do a pick six, and that's about it. So hopefully you like these picks. Hopefully they help you out. And good luck.